Howdy, everybody. Welcome to Highly Questionable Marketing, and we're gonna change it up a little bit, Jurgen. You know, we come in and we find posts that kind of really fire us up, and I do really try to position this like a free thinking podcast, right? Like, we're not trying to go at anybody or anything. Like, we're just trying to have some fun, discuss topics that are really gaining traction in LinkedIn, and really bring some, you know, are they the right conversations for people to be focused on and tactics to do? And maybe to change it up, I kind of had an idea is let's do some LinkedIn love. Let's find some shit that we're really digging right now, and just share it and give our thoughts. And we picked what, two? We don't know what we picked, so I don't know what we're gonna get. We picked two, and then I think we have a little wild card is like, hey, who's somebody we love on LinkedIn? Not just the post, but like, what are they posting that really gets us? I'm just gonna kick this off. I got one that came in. And I try to keep it recent. Tom Wentworth, CMO at Recorded Future, loved this post. 10 years ago, sales to marketing, your MQLs suck. Today, sales to marketing, your qualified pipeline sucks. Someday soon, sales to marketing, your ARR sucks. And right, we talked about this a little bit, and I love it because it's like marketers are catching on a little bit, I think, to what's going on out there, right? Like, there's an over push to measure marketing on revenue. It's just gone a little too far. And it's like everything is marketing, your shit sucks. Get better. Where's the revenue? Why aren't we closing these deals? And shout out to Tom. I love that post. It's I just love it.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Like, it's funny, right? Like, it's very, like, the way he worded that, it's very, very funny. That's entertaining in like a cool way.
Yeah.
Trying too hard, but it's really funny. And it's so real, right? Like, this pendulum swing is insane. I know you and I are probably among the ones that are the most critical about this, right? Like, I'm going on record and saying, like, we are screwing ourselves as marketers here, allowing for this swing all the way to revenue, revenue. It's all about revenue. The only thing that matters is revenue, revenue. Like that it's gonna come back and it's gonna bite and it's gonna sting. So I love that one. Yeah, sales going.
Yep.
Yeah, that revenue you brought in last quarter, I just really think it's that's funny.
Yeah.
That's a good one, man.
Can you do more with the same ad spend? Like,
Yeah.
why isn't it increasing?
Yeah, exactly. That's really good. All right, you ready for one of mine?
Let's do it.
Okay, this is. Should I read this? Or should I not read it? I don't want to read a lot, but I'm gonna go with the homegirl Sarah McNamara. Awesome name, by the way. She did share something that somebody else had written though, but it's about this thing about in-house versus outsourced marketing teams, right? It's not about one or the other. It's about bringing the two together. And this is something that I'm passionate about as a non-agency guy. Like, you should be the one probably being all about, hell yeah, agencies should be fully integrated. But me as a marketing leader, I'm just finding that, like, there are way too many reasons why this makes sense, right? One is talent gaps and hiring and stuff like that. The other is, of course, the way we work and how, like, remote is not an issue anymore the way that it was. At least in my opinion, it is not. And how it's all about getting the right people together for the right projects at the right time. And so, like, we have to now officially start thinking differently about how the marketing work gets done. And it's not about being romantic about, oh yeah, it's all about, you got to get that growth marketing agency because you would never want to hire somebody in charge. It's not about like that or the other, right? Like, it's just about figuring out for your team, your company in that particular stage, how you should do it. But I do think you should be extremely open-minded. I'm not saying this to show you love. I mean, fuck, well, what am I doing?
Yeah, I didn't even know what you were picking, by the way. So let's be clear. Yeah. I had no context. But
for real, right? Like, and I'm sure you'll agree with it. But, like, what is ultimately your reason why you would agree wholeheartedly with that sentiment?
So let me tell you something. I'm actually working on a new narrative, too, a little bit. And I think this is, like, really interesting what you said, which is number one, and how I position to clients, by the way. You can't work with us if you don't have an in-house marketing team, because growth is a team sport. Like, if you're coming in solo and you don't have any support, or at least a marketing leader, we actually can't work with you, number one. Number two, this idea that you're going to be able to hire all the talent in house is very difficult to pull off, right? But there's a lingering thing I've noticed, and we have fixed this. And I'm not saying this to toot our own horn or anything. 99% of marketing teams, they might have the great in-house talent. They do not have the process in place to uncover growth levers. And I really mean this. It's actually more random acts of marketing. So the biggest reason you might hire us is actually you'd say, Jay, we don't have a growth process to uncover growth. We want to leverage you maybe for 2 years. And you might take my process in-house fully at that time because you have the process in place to do it. And that's actually how we position it. I don't expect a client to stay forever, but I know for a fact almost none of them have a process in place to uncover the combinations of things that are going to drive growth in their marketing.
Right, all right.
So I actually love that call out.
Commercial time over. Commercial time over. No, but that's really solid, man. Like I don't think it wouldn't be easy to like really disagree with that if you look at it objectively. So that's good. All right, what's your next one, man? What's your second one?
Awesome. So this is kind of like a double up because I didn't follow the other guy, but I got Russell Banzin from Gong. He says spot on Emmett. And then Emmett, and I'm not going to say his last name, but I'm assuming at Gong too. If you're not breaking through the noise, you're creating it. And that is the sum up of when I say stop scaling mediocre marketing. You're stuck in the false struggle, and you hear me talk about this narrative and all this stuff, and everybody's saying demand gen's the future, right? Yeah, but 99% of people are doing the noise-based demand gen, right? They're pushing a bunch of stuff out there to try to build awareness and stuff. And I love someone calling this out because what I have finally realized is market message fit is your number one thing to focus on, right? And that all of your marketing is to amplify that message. So either you're amplifying noise or you're amplifying a differentiated message out in the marketplace. I love seeing some of the big players out there really calling this out for small time practical marketers to really think about and is, hey guys, we're going to do this. Are we just creating noise? Are we really bringing value with what we're running here? And most of the time, we're creating noise. Like, really ask yourself that and think about that when you're doing your marketing.
That's real talk, but it's also really hard, right? Because a fairly regular marketing team tasked with, driving the business forward in execution mode is going to have a hard time looking in the mirror for everything that they do and ask themselves and answer the question of like, is this kind of like are we aware of the bar for breaking through the noise, and are we able to be honest with ourselves about where we are relative to that bar? It's really hard, but I do think it is the biggest thing that most marketing teams can do. And now I'm about to get philosophical, but like the biggest thing that we can do as humans, oh shit, here he goes, is actually to figure out how the fuck we can get comfortable with looking in the mirror and say, and yeah. I doing the shit that I need to do to get to where I need to be. Yep. Right? Like it's the hardest thing to really say, because we're all doing this, right? Like, well, yep. It wasn't really me. Like that was some shit that I couldn't really control, or politicians this or that, or like the economy. Yeah. We all do that. And in marketing, I think it's hard to be super honest. Like, is this really out there to break through the noise? Because if we did that, we would stop 90% of the shit we're doing.
Yep. I think that's where there's a foundational play that people get back to, which is what is our market message fit? What are we really going to go to market with and really own? Number one. And I think number two, it's the idea that I keep saying, you can no longer scale mediocre marketing. And if we're really honest about the marketing that we're typically pushing out, it's mediocre. It's nothing that's right. It's clever headlines and stuff, but it's not, you're not changing people's perception and perspective. Imagine if you compete with Gong right now, and even though what they just said, the bar to compete with Gong is so high. It's hard. So much love to that post.
Yeah, yeah. All right, you ready for my second one? Here we go.
Let's do it.
Ready or not. Okay, the king, Christopher Lochhead, author of Play Bigger. Um, I have to say too, a really solid dude. Like if you reach out to him, he'll hit you right back. Like there's no BS there. But this is like best-selling author. The thing about Christopher Lochhead is that he is willing to pick an edge, right? And you may or may not agree with everything that he has to say, but he is really picking an edge. And it's not to be provocative. It's not to just like say shit or get attention, right? It's truly because he believes that, you know, he's onto something with his point of view. And he had something the other day that I thought was really putting a fine point on something we're all aware of, but he articulated it better than, you know, anybody I've seen. And it made me think of something in particular. So he talks about obvious lie marketing. And obvious lie marketing is what we typically see in our inboxes. And we typically blame SDRs for it. But the reality is we should blame our fellow marketers on the other side for this. And that is the classic, hey, Jay, you know, I noticed that you did this really awesome thing. I have this incredible product for you, blah, 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 blah. So you're leading with something entirely disingenuous in 97.5% of the cases, because you're just trying to like, well, you know, as a CEO of an agency, I'm sure you feel that, you know, it's that kind of thing. And when did we decide collectively that that was the way to approach somebody? And what the case that Christopher makes is that you need to have enough confidence in your own marketing. Just market your shit. Like go straight to it. And what it made me think was, I think that yes, he has a point, but I also still believe that there is a play around being genuine and reaching out to somebody and actually giving them props. But if you're going to do that, then you have to go with the give, then eventually ask, right? You have to play that so much longer. And in fact, it's almost like this binary thing. Like you either have to pick all the way, I'm going to be the one who develops the relationship and I'm going to compliment, engage, and I'm going to really understand what the person on the other end is about. And I'm going to let them come to me whenever they're ready to come to me. I'm going to all the way that way. Or I'm not going to mess around with this disingenuous stuff about like, well, I noticed this incredible thing that you just did, and it was just so amazing, and oh my God, and here's my product, and it does this, and the features are, so go, like, pick a side.
Wow, it seems like we're really honing in on the fact that mediocre marketing no longer works, right? Like, love that, number one. Number two, yeah, I think you're onto something, which is we know who's writing those emails. Come on, it's marketing. Let's be real here. We've all been in those.
Yeah.
BDR team, you don't know what you're doing. We're going to write your emails for you because those are bad, you know, and then you think they're just a little
worse.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So, you know, I'm not going to disagree with that. Like much love. Like I'm right there with you on that. I think it's kind of a reoccurring theme that we kind of just talk about at this point, which is, you know, average ain't going to cut it. And it's just got to stop because I think the other thing, it's getting worse. Like I don't actually read email anymore. I don't even check email. Like honestly, like I don't. The only thing that happens, you book a meeting on my website. I see the meeting that pops up. Beyond that, all my clients are in Slack. If you're emailing me, you're not getting me honestly. So it doesn't even really matter. It's just a call out, by the way.
Interesting. Well, the other point that was made in that post was that it's great, you know, keep doing it because it makes it easier for great marketers to just, you know, break through and do their thing. So there's that too.
The gap is widening between great marketers and average marketers. And we're not going to really see it yet until probably there's a big consolidation in the market because everything got overextended or something, right? Like there's just an explosion. The economy's crazy right now. Let's be real. Like it's, yeah. So.
All right. I see where you're going.
One more. Yeah. Well, this isn't that type of show, by the way. One more call out then. I want to give some love to one person because I couldn't pick one single post where I'm like, this is the one. It's actually Megan Bowen at Refine Labs.
Come on, man. This is the same person I had.
No shit. Oh shit. All right. So there we go. Look, I there is not a single post that doesn't get posted from her that one does not feel from the heart, that is not impactful and inspirational and helpful. If you're into customer success, if you just want to grow as a person at a company, if everything she posts, I will always read. I might not like all of it. There's a little bit of a boundary because, like, you know, we'll just leave it at that. But everything she posts is just gold. And I don't want to say too much more than that. Like, I would encourage anybody to go follow her. I love her content. Super great.
Dude, I feel the same way. And having been a Refined Labs customer and having worked with Megan on stuff and having
Yep.
worked through some challenges with her, like, and you having worked with her too, like that it is from the heart too, right? So you have the added
Yep.
benefit of like really knowing. But just the post alone, right? Like, let's take that. Authenticity has been this word that's been, used and abused and misunderstood. And like some people think that you can just sort of like put that on and wear it. Like it's just there in what she puts out, right? Like it's just
Yep.
really, really there. And it's thoughtful, insightful shit about like some of these more fundamental things. I think one of the reasons why it's resonating with us as more like marketing nerds is that like she talks about the shit that like you really got to have in order, like the real
Yeah.
shit to optimize. All this marketing and growth stuff on top is just sort of like, yeah, okay, cool, like let's
Yep.
finesse some stuff. But like she's talking about the real stuff. Yeah, you got to follow her on LinkedIn and check
Yep.
out the post. That's so funny that we have
Love
this,
it.
like that was truly not planned. That's
Nope.
really funny.